Listen, I think you should just be more impressed in the fact that you can actually do this. And you aren't also passed the fuck out from the blood loss. Truly pushing my human limits. I battled an intense exhaustion and the urge to succumb and puke. I was overexerting myself. Not to mention, I had just lost copious amounts of blood. Maybe it's the vampire in him, you know, maybe it's instead of the dog in him, it's the vampire in him. Lucy was showing her usual symptoms, and her deathly pale face was in contrast to her burning skin. Blood-sucking, too, is somehow denied to us. God damn it, man. God damn it, man. At least question. At least be like, maybe it's connected. No, that's also something that she mentioned it. It's the greatest expression of love in the vampire world. And with sex impossible, enjoying my blood was surely her last ray of hope in the darkness. Yet even that was a forbidden pleasure. What the fuck? What the hell is going on here? Why did he self-censor himself? I felt tears of rage build in my eyes, and I bit my lip hard enough to draw blood. Don't lose more blood. I saw a man standing in front of my house, and Dora fluttering next to him. Who's that? Oh, Gasparo. What the hell did he do? What the hell did he want? Is it the fucking medical results that they got back for his blood? Gasparo took notice of us and walked toward us, his shoulders poised in fury. It didn't seem like he was here to get to know his son-in-law better. Even still, I didn't expect him to scream at me. I was speechless in my shock. Thank you. At least he recognizes that he's the inferior vampire. Still isn't explaining anything. Why should I? I refuse to. We stood like duelists with fixed glares on the street. Gasparo had an intimidating aura, but I wasn't about to be undone. What the hell does he want, anyway? According to Lucy, I had activated my entrancing eye and Gasparo had recognized our marriage. As proof of that, he hadn't come to bother us even once since then. Yet here he was all of a sudden, and he was enraged. He seemed enraged. Move away, please. I need to get Lucy to her bed. I ignored him and pushed through the gate toward Lucy's house. He seemed to know something I didn't, but I resisted the urge to turn around. I wanted to put Lucy to bed. I was approaching my physical limits. The stairs I went up and down every day felt like an excursion up Mount Everest. I heard footsteps in my pursuit. She sucked my blood and collapsed. Huh? I arrived in front of the door, and Dora opened it to usher me in. I finally put her into her bed, and in my crippling exhaustion, collapsed right onto the floor. I heard a voice approaching above me. You're not gonna question why he is also dressed as such?
海水浴でございます。
海水浴？ねえ、誇り高き吸血鬼の王女が人前で裸体を晒すなどと。
So they have pools. wait. What is that? Does that imply? That's so weird. Pools, no, it's not pools. It's just the act of swimming is exclusive to the pride and joy of the vampire kingdom exposed to commoners. Yeah, the way he's saying it, it sounds like the act of swimming in his world is exclusive to royalty, right? The vampire royalty. I think it's fine. Come on, she's just a regular student in this world. I wasn't being disrespectful. I finally got up off the floor. Oh, right. I need to change her. She'll get worse if she stays in her wet bikini. Can you step out for a minute, please? I'm going to change Lucy's clothes. Maid?
メイドもいずにどうやって着替えさせるつもりだ。
I'll change her.
バカなこと。このゲロめ。
If only he knew. If only he knew, he'd blow a fucking gasket.
そのくらいすぐに乾くだろう。上から服を着せればいいだけのことだろうが。
You're the one talking nonsense. I don't think I had ever stood up so strongly to an adult, and even Gasparo looked more surprised than angry. And what if she gets worse? Keeping these wet clothes on.
しかし、意識のないルーチェの女子の服を男が着替えさせるなど。
We're husband and wife. It's natural for me to care for my wife, my own wife. Gasparo shook, steaming with anger. How long did he want to continue the scuffle while Lucy lay there getting colder?
恐れながら陛下、お嬢様とユータ様の仲は一度は陛下もお認めでいらっしゃいます。
Yeah, don't tell me you also forgot everything that happened in the vampire world after you came to this one.
しからば、ここはユータ様に任せるべきかと存じまする。
もうわかった。
He threw his cape as he pivoted on his heel. You aren't cool when you do that. You don't look cool when you do that. But soon turned back to me.
ユータ！もし寝ているルーチェにいたずらでもしたら、
His body shook again with his own outlandish presumptions. I will not. Please leave at once. Dora, bring me her clothes. So, what do you want? What do you know? You must know something. That's why you came so suddenly.
説明は娘の意識が戻ってからとする。お前だけに言っても仕方がない。
I mean, I guess.
本当はずっとついていたいが、要は一旦戻ることにするぞ。
はっ。
Please wait a moment.
なんだ?
I don't actually remember, but I heard that you had beat me badly in the vampire world.
Hmm?
This is for that. No, you already punched him in the vampire world. Suck.
いててて 突然何をする
I mean, like, to be fair, only one punch isn't enough, so... Well, it's, payback.
お返しならあの時一発殴らせてやっただろう。お前は手加減もしなかったのだぞ。
Oh, is that right? I'm sorry for just now, then.
まったくふざけた小僧だ。今も本気で殴りおって。
I bowed my head in apology again.
あ、陛下、鼻血が。
いい
He scoffed and grimaced, taking his anger out on Dora.
では世は戻る。
He was still clearly angry.
言えた。寝ている間に娘に近づくんじゃないぞ。
You're still on about that? Where?
貴様がいるとルーチェに悪影響があるのだ。お前も本当は分かっているのだろう。お前の存在がルーチェを苦しめていること。いいな。もしもお前が本当に娘を愛しているのだとするなら。
I love her. Gaspar continued, ignoring my proclamation entirely.
看病をしようなどとは夢思わず離れていることだ。そうすれば、ルーチェもじきに目を覚ます。では帰る。ドーラ。ルーチェが意識を取り戻したら、すぐに呼びに参れ。
御意。
Flashbang. Gasparo vanished from the room after he said his piece. Is that the right piece? Surely it's P-E-A-C-E, right? That would make more sense. Surely, surely I remember seeing it said as peace, as in P-E-A-C-E, not P-I-E-C-E. Sure, whatever. Lucy's eyes were shut tight, despite all the commotion in the same room. But that was enough to indicate this was beyond a deep sleep. She was comatose.
いかがなさいますか、ユータ様。ご所様はあのようにおっしゃいましたが。何しろお二人は夫婦。妻のことに関しては、ユータ様自らが決めるのがよろしいでしょう。
Thanks. Obviously, I'm staying with her.
御意。
But I'll try and maintain some distance. I brought up a chair near enough to the bed and kept a close eye on Lucy. Does the chair right next to her bed not good enough for you? Is the chair already next to her bed not good enough for you? It was clear that she wasn't in a peaceful sleep. I could occasionally hear pained moaning, and yet I couldn't even touch her to comfort her. I could only gaze upon my beautiful wife from her self-imposed distance. It wasn't as though I was following Gaspar's orders or anything, but like he said to me, I myself was starting to realize what was going on. I, and I alone, was the one causing Lucy's suffering. I mean, if that's really the case, then it technically isn't the blood that's causing this. I mean, like, if it is Yuta's existence itself, then the blood would act as a catalyst to that, right? I kept convincing myself it was because of the sex, but the root of the issue wasn't actually that in itself. The source was contact with me, but why? Why, damn it? Vampires and humans are destined to never love one another, but we're already... Am I fated to never be by her side? Lucy. I thought she had regained consciousness, but not yet. Lucy's lips quivered while her eyes stayed tightly shut.
と私のそばにいて言った。
She had said the same thing at the beach. Of course I will. Almost subconsciously, I softly murmured those words. I was embarrassed for almost losing hope. We would be together, her and I. I could never leave her. I loved her too much. I slipped off the chair and took a knee next to the bed. I hesitated for a few seconds, but I took Lucy's hand in both of mine. Then, Lucy's hand slowly closed over my fingers. It may have just been her body's natural response. Lucy. Her hand was burning like fire in mine. After a few more moments, I returned to my chair and continued watching over her. Seven, 8. The next morning came, and Lucy hadn't awoken. Even around noon, she hadn't shown any changes. I hadn't eaten anything in over 24 hours. Dora caught on and eventually brought me some sandwiches. I wasn't aware of my hunger in the slightest, but after I took a bite, I couldn't stop eating. My mind was unaware, but my body still craved. And my body craved another thing as well. I filled my belly and within a few seconds was tired as hell. I felt my head slipping slowly to the side. And my eyes shut open. I instinctively turned toward the bed, but it was empty, and the sheets ruffled.
おはよう。
Lucy. She was actually sitting next to me. I was so focused on checking the bed that I hadn't noticed.
私は1時間くらい前に目が覚めたの。でもユータが寝ていてくれて助かったわ。
Huh?
だって寝起きの顔は見られたくないもの。これは女なら誰でもそうだと思うけどね。それでユータ疲れていたみたいだったから、今度は立場を逆にして寝顔を見ていたというわけ。
So it's okay for men?
男はいいのよ。
My lips curled upward into a smile. I forced my expression to stay calm and asked her, "How do you feel?"
もうバッチリよ。
Lucy flashed a victory pose, then clenched her fist. It was odd for her. I just prayed that she wasn't pretending. It was a little dim in the room, so I couldn't see her perfectly.
本当よ。
She read my doubts like a book and continued.
だって目が覚めた時、あなたがそばにいてくれたから。
But I couldn't do anything for you. I couldn't even hold your hand. I could only watch. I rubbed under my eyes. Maybe because I was tired. I tried to stop my tears but failed. I shut my eyes to hold them in and felt a hand on my shoulder. Lucy stood up from her chair and moved her face next to mine. I felt her lips on my cheek, and ever so slightly, her tongue pressed into my skin. She lapped up my tears and moved her lips to my mouth. Our lips met gently for a moment, and she pulled away.
聞いたわよ。お父様が来てごちゃごちゃと余計なことを言ったそうね。でもそんなことはどうだっていいの。私はユータと一緒にいたい。いつまでもどんな時も。 それだけなんだから。
Me too.
愛しているわ、ユータ。
Even with her lips pressed against mine, I couldn't bring myself to embrace her. I wanted to respond passionately. Nothing could be more natural. But if I did so, then she might...
それくらいにしてもらおうか。
Shit.
お父様、見ていたの？悪趣味ね。
True. Lucy glared maliciously at her father.
見ていたわけではない。ちょうど今来たところだ。
同じことよ。それにドーラ？
Dora was watching.
私がいいと言うまで呼びに行かないようにと言ったじゃない。申し訳ありません。やはりご女様のご命令を無視するわけには参りませぬ。
Dora flooded to the ceiling and lit the candles on the chandelier.
こちらに来なさい。お前に話がある。
私たちにでしょ。
わかった。そうだ。お前たち二人に話がある。だからこちらに来て世の話を聞くのだ。ルーチェ、ユータ。
Okay. Oh wait, no, that's her saying it. Yes. We sat at the table and faced Gasparo.
さて、どこから話したものか。言うべきことは決まっているのだがな。
He tapped his finger on the table in thought while cutting us down with his intimidating glare.
言うべきこと。それは、お前たち二人は別れろということだ。
嫌よ。
No way. Well, we will not. Both work, if translate... Both work in Japanese, the way Lucy said it. We answered simultaneously. The father-in-law that I knew would have exploded in peculiar anger, but surprisingly he just shrugged and looked down.
まあ、そう言うであろうと思った。ドーラにも聞いた。今となっては、二人は深く愛し合っているという。
Bro, who's the fucking snitch?
ええ、そうよ。もう何があろうと別れるなんてできないわね。
Oh, well, what a fucking snitch.
要は、娘のことを深く愛している。だから、ルーチェ、お前が他の誰でもないユータを夫として選んだことを不憫に思う。
Bro, we get it. Just get on to it.
何よ、気持ちの悪いこと言わないで。
Again, if this was the usual Gasparo, he would have held her and whined for her to forgive him. Yet he sat in silent turmoil. I started to get a bad feeling in my gut. What is he about to tell us here? It was painfully obvious that it wasn't good news.
お父様、話があるなら早くおっしゃってくださらない？
Lucy smacked the table in frustration.
ユータ、お前たち人間と我々吸血鬼の間には不幸な歴史があってね。
Oops. An unfortunate history.
かつて人間は我々の食料だった。
I mean, I could have told you that. That's not news to me.
ちょっと、わざわざ帝王自ら歴史の講義でもしようというわけ？
Lucy squeezed the edge of the table, brimming with impatience and anger. I could see her arms shaking from how much power she put into her grip.
まあ待て。お前の気持ちはわかるが。
勘違いしないでよ、ユータ。
Lucy ignored Gasparo entirely, but she kept staring forward, not making eye contact with me.
今では全然そんなことはないのだから。
Yeah, I know.
本当に。
Lucy added the extra affirmation and finally turned to me.
今となってはもう体の作りからして違う。食性が違うのよ。そういう必要から血を欲することはもう決してない。したくてもできないの。だから私が吸血鬼が欲しいのは愛する人の血液だけ。
Yeah. I looked into her eyes and nodded, and Lucy sighed in relief, like she had successfully made her point.
今はその通り。ルーチの言うことに間違いはない。
だったらなんでそんな話を急に持ち出すのよ。ユータが気分を害するでしょ。
Lucy's voice was still like an Arctic gale.
無論、今回の件に関わりがあるからだ。
You mean that's the reason?
ん？
That between us, there's some sort of opposing force?
いや、
Gasparo shook his head side to side, then tilted it slightly.
まあ多分な。
Perhaps.
吸血鬼と人間が愛し合うなど、この2000年なかったことだ。だから比較はできん。他の異種族はそうでもなかったが、我々吸血鬼はおよそ2000年余り交流を絶ってきた。その背景にはまさに両者の不幸な関係があったのだ。今でこそ我々は人間の捕食者ではないが、それは何も自然とそうなったわけではない。一つの契機があった。力関係が逆転したのだ。それは例の進化というやつだったのかもしれんな。放っておけば人間は食い尽くされる。それを防ぐため、お前のような連中が現れたのだよ。
Huh?
吸血鬼にとっては白血球のようなものだな。それまでの人間は吸血鬼の魔眼に命じられるまま喜んでその身を差し出していた。
Interesting. Okay. This is... Right. I mean, yeah, I see, see what he means. Right? Where, of course, right, the humans evolved to combat vampires by essentially evolving to create antibodies that would react negatively when coming into contact with a vampire's blood, however they ingest the vampire's body, right? So Yuta has that gene. Very interesting. So it is the blood. I mean, I think that's what he's trying to get at. But I surely it's not every human, right? Especially not on Earth. Surely it's just the ones in the vampire world, right? Obviously, because the ones on Earth haven't needed to evolve to combat vampires.
だがおよそ2000年前、魔眼の通用しない連中がポツポツと現れるようになった。天津さえ、奴らは逆に吸血鬼を支配下に置いた。
I see. So he isn't related to a more powerful species of vampire. He's related to the humans of the of their world. Right? Oh. Gasparo nodded regrettably at my realization.
そう。ユータも先日、我々にその力を見せてくれたな。お前はあろうことか、吸血鬼の帝王をその支配下に置いた。
嘘よ。
何がだ。
Gasparo uncharacteristically shot his daughter a cold glare.
だってそんな。
お前もその目ではっきり見ていたはずだ。世だけではない。兵らもまた、ユータの魔眼に見入られていた。あの時。
Bro, this CG goes hard. I'm not gonna lie.
ユータにその気があれば、世の主給を上げることもできたのだ。その
Probably.
意味がお前にもわかるだろう。
Look, I know this is meant to be a serious moment, but like, this is probably the coldest fucking CG in the game.
ユータがそんなことをするはずがないわ。
Period.
ものの例えだ。ユータよ。世はこんな話もドーラより耳にした。我々が持つ力を真似ようと、修行のようなことをしたそうだな。
Yes.
だが結局成功しなかったという。当然だ。なぜなら。
Well, I wasn't in any real danger, so
違う。
it was almost irritating how quickly Gasparo shrugged it off.
お前の力は人間を相手に発揮できるようなものではなかったのだ。お前はかつて世の娘を救ってくれた。それには父親として深く感謝している。が、捕食者としての本性を表したに過ぎなかった面もあったのかもしれんな。
違うわ。
I think I know what he's trying to say. Wait. No, well, no. I was like, okay, maybe it only works because he was against vampires, but then the monster that he first faced was also affected by the entrancing eye thing, which means that, is it because he was in the other world that it activated his powers? Right, it let him use that power? Wham. Lucy smacked the table again.
ユータの心根を否定しようというのではない。だがその本性を否定することもまたできないはずだぞ、ルーチェ。今振り返れば、ルーチェには誤った方向づけを与えてしまったのかもしれん。
どういうこと？
あの日、お前からちぎりのことを聞かされたとき、世はそれを否定したいばかりに、人間などもってのほかといったことを口にした。それは逆に言えば、人間ではなければということになる。お前もそう。
そうね。それで私はユータに吸血鬼と似通ったところがないかと探したりして。
Bro, I keep fucking doing this shit.
それは逆に言えば、人間ではなければということになる。お前もそう判断したのだろう。
I remembered her staring deeply, inquisitively into my eyes. she wasn't able to accomplish that goal.
だが人間が吸血鬼の力を持つはずがない。もしそれに似た力があるとするなら、そのものはどりも直さず吸血鬼を捕食するものに他ならなかったのだ。
I mean, look, in hindsight, in hindsight, it's kind of dumb for me to think that Yuta was related to vampires, considering all the fucking history that, the lack of history that vampires and humans have had together. Right? They literally haven't mated for 2,000 years. So, like, it'd be preposterous to think that Yuta was part of a fucking secret bloodline of highly powerful vampires that also mated with humans. Yeah.
歴史はそのことを教えている。だが世の念頭からもそのことはすっかり抜け落ちていた。ひょっとしてと思ったのはユータの魔眼にやられた時だ。だが確たる証拠もなしに言ったところでルーチェは反発するだけだろう。そこで髪の毛を資料に調べてみた。
What did I say they tested? I forgot it was. I forgot she fucking plucked her hair out of him and tested it. Oh, Dora did? Whatever, his hair got plucked out of his fucking head and got sent to the other world.
それで判明したわけだが。とはいえ、世はただ待てばよいだけだったのかもしれん。
どういうことよ。
分かっているだろう。ユータも分かっているはずだ。お前たちは結ばれぬ運命にある。
That was impossible. Despite the fervent opposition in my head, a crushing weight came down on my shoulders.
力関係が逆転してからは、吸血鬼はむしろ人間を恐れ、異世界へと消えた。それから長い長い年月が過ぎた。
Wait. They retreated to another world. Does that mean that... I mean... I guess it makes sense. It's not like they're saying that there were humans, that there used to be humans in their world, right? They're just saying that they used to prey on humans. So I guess it makes sense that they're just from they're from this world and then just went to another one, right? I don't know. Here's the thing, right? I'm just assuming based off the fact that every other, like, girl is from a different world. Because, like, I don't think... It's not like they're all, like, preying on humans until humans got the upper hand and then they all fucking retreated. Right, like the vampires are, if that's what he's trying to say, like the vampires did to I mean, look, I'm just gonna say, if it's true that they retreated to another world and were originally from Earth, they could have picked a better world, you know.
吸血鬼のあり方も変化し、それはまた人間においても同じことだっただろう。必要のない力は退化していくものだ。今となっては同族を吸血鬼から守るものなど存在しないだろう。だが吸血鬼が襲いかかることもまたない。だがユータは必要に迫られた。幼き時、そして先日、 眠っていた力は今や鎌首をもたげ、世の娘を、お前の妻を苦しめている。
Unfortunately, I couldn't relish the fact that he finally called her my wife. Called me her wife. In the instance that brought us together, a wedge was placed between us to drive us apart. What terrible irony.
先ほど不憫と言ったのは嘘ではない。ルーチェ、お前はきっとわずかな確率を引き当ててしまったのだ。
けれど、そうであればこそ私たちは結ばれたのよ。
皮肉な話だな。
違う。それは必要なことだったのよ。
必要？
私たちは吸血鬼と人間だわ。所詮種族が違う。2000年もの間、愛し合う男女だって生まれなかった。そうであれば今こそ、両者は和合する時なんだわ。困難を乗り越えてね。
I mean, she is making a good point.
世が自ら条理を尽くして説明したというのに、結局お前は考えを変えないのだな、ルーチェ。
当たり前でしょ。
お前は昔からそうだった。機関気の強い子供だった。ならば仕方がない。
Gaspar stood up from his seat.
無理やり連れて行こうというの？
そのようなことはしない。またまがんでやられたらたまらんからな。世は待つだけだ、ルーチェ。
何をよ。
愛する者に触れられぬことはつらい。お前のように一見冷静で、しかしその実、情の細やかな女にとってみれば、それはなおさらだろう。
何が言いたいの
Gaspar just shook his head lightly without answering.
私は絶対に諦めないわ。
Neither will I.
だがユータの力は今後ますます強くなるぞ。すでにその兆候もあるのだろう。いずれさっきのように口づけさえできなくなる。そうなった時、お前はどうするのだ、ルーチェ。
Lucy shook her head and covered her eyes, as if to shut out reality. Seeing her childish fury choked me up, and I felt a welling heaviness in the back of my nose and eyes. Gasparo indeed was pained. I could see it as he looked at his daughter. He left the room without another word.
ゆうた。
I caught Lucy as she flew sobbing into my chest. My wife was sobbing in my arms, like her world was coming to an end. I wanted so badly to console her, and to love her. It was nothing more than a wish. Was the fate that awaited us one where we couldn't even touch one another like this? The fear in my mind was real. 7-9.
おはよう、ゆうくん。
Morning.
体調は良くなったの？
Huh?
あ、昨日休んだから風邪かなんかかなって思ったんだけど。
Oh. For a second, I thought she was talking about Lucy. Yesterday was Tuesday, right?
そうだよ。
I wasn't sick or anything like that, but I should probably tell everyone what's going on here. Just then, the brigade came downstairs.
おはよう。おはようございます。おはようございます。おはようです。
And Lucy was last to make her descent.
おはよう。
And she started I started examining her face almost involuntarily. She looked pretty normal, but she couldn't hide the pain she felt. Karen was quick to bring it up.
なんだルーチェ、徹夜でテレビでも見ていたの？テレビなんか見ないけど、なんでよ。だって目の下にクマが浮いてるから、寝不足は美容の大敵よね、なんていつも言ってるくせにさ。
Karen was jesting like it was nothing, but Yorihime got red in the face for some reason.
カリンちゃん、ルーチェはまだ新婚さんなのですから。まあ、のんきなこと言わないでよね。ごめんなさい。いえ、本当に。私たち、もう大変なんだから。もしかして、喧嘩でもしたの？そうじゃなくて。どうしたです、ルーチェ。なんだか本当に元気がないです。
Let's just get it out in the open with everyone. I think it's for the best.
ええ、そうね。
I figured we would be late if I explained anyway, so I led us down to the beach to talk. It was a weekday morning, and the beach was empty.
今日は揃って遅刻だわ。けどまあ、たまにはいいわよね。
We told them everything. Once they grasped the situation, the carefree mood of our walk to school disappeared.
そんなことになっていたのですか。異世界を旅したユータは、やっぱり少し変わった存在です。それには、今の話のような背景があったのでしょうか。ええ、かもしれないわね。
Lucy sighed like she was tired of all this.
じゃあ、これからどうするの？
I fucking did it again. What's this font property setting thing?
まあ、それなりに楽しくやるわよ。二人でいろんなところにデートしたり。
Lucy had a smile on her face, but she couldn't cover up the effort she needed to plaster it on. The rest seemed to notice, and the mood didn't brighten in the slightest. But that doesn't offer any kind of solution. That much was obvious already. But we virtually had no leads on how to solve this issue. All that we had was unwavering determination in both of our hearts, and our mutual feelings to stay together through anything. That was all. But as long as we believed in our feelings, a path would reveal itself. One just wide enough for us to walk side by side. Or perhaps we needed to forge said path. We were the first of our kind to ever come together in love. And it was up to us to create a path for the future. (7:13). It was the last day of the semester. We only had homeroom and a graduation ceremony. There was no actual class. So we were all already in vacation mode.
では今から終業式を行いますので、皆さん体育館に移動してください。
今から何をするの？
The graduation ceremony. It's just a speech from the principal, I think.
今日はそのなんとか式とホームルームだけで終わりなんでしょ？そしたらいよいよ夏休みか。けど落第してしまったカリンは1週間の補習ということではなかったかしら？
Oh, unlucky. Our school had a tough rule that if you didn't get a certain minimum score on the exams, you had a week of intensive summer school. Somehow I managed to just barely scrape by.
ルーチェも補習じゃなかったっけ？何を言ってるのよ。答案用紙なら見せてあげたでしょ。ほとんど満点で報酬などあるはずないわね。私一人か。ユリもユーナもユータも補習じゃなかったもんね。
Nope. Do your best, Karen.
サボろっかな。
Hey, they'll just pile on more summer school. It's tough, but it's only a week.
はーい。
Only a week.
なんなら今度から私が勉強を見てあげてもいいわよ。ほんだ、いらないもんね。
The ceremony concluded without a hitch. We returned to homeroom, and once it was over, our first semester would come to a close.
毎年の注意ではありますが、夏休みだからといって気を抜かず、節度のある生活を送ってください。では、以上です。
Stand bow. Stand bow. It's finally over.
これで今から夏休みか。夏休みって8月末までだったわよね。
Yep.
結構長いわよね。今まで毎日のように通っていたからちょっと違和感があるかもしれないわね。じゃあルーチェも補習に来ればいいじゃん。なんで意味もなく補習なんか受けないといけないのよ。今日はうちでお昼にしない？せっかくだし。そうね。
It sounds good.
じゃあ月曜からの補習に備えて今日はたーんと食べよった。関係あるのそれ。
We met up with Yorihime and Luna, and all went to the honeydew together.
でもせっかくの夏休みなのに私は勉強ばっかりだな。補習に行って宿題もたーんと出るし。けど宿題はルーチェに見せてもらえばいっか。見せないからね。でも宿題がある方がまだいいですよ。やることがあって。
Yeah, there's no homework for third years, right?
はい、受験があるからと。
I was jealous hearing about that last year, but studying for the exams was probably worse than just homework.
私はどうしようか迷っているのですが。
I remembered that it came up before, but Yorihime included. They haven't decided how long they could stay in this world, but they would stay in this world. If they return to their home worlds, they might not ever be able to return. They all agreed to enjoy their time here to the fullest, while they could, that is. I'm gonna miss them when they're gone. When they're gone, I'd like them to stay as long as possible. Well, okay, here's the weird thing, right? Yorihime and Luna are kind of the only two that wouldn't be able to return. right? We already know that parents never had a problem. Also because there's an there is just an inherent link between the two worlds through the fucking shrine and the fox mask. Julie's mom is the link, and Julie's dad, I guess, is the link. And, well, Yuna's from this world, and then Lucy's, you know, it's Yuta's link. Then they're not going to fucking separate. Maybe you should go to college. It's a good chance too.
ええ。夏休みも結構暇なんだよね。たまには友達と遊びにも行くけど。私は多分毎日が忙しいです。そうなの？マテリアルを求めて飛び回るですから。そっか。やることがあるのはいいことだよね。
I had tons of free time last year. I didn't have a job or anything. But I doubted I would be bored this year. Lucy and I would probably be going out just about every single day. I hadn't touched her since then. But like she said before, that wasn't all that couples could do together. It was the unabated truth that just being together made us happy.
近いうちに見つかるよ。解決の手段。
Julie tried to cheer me up. They all looked at me with serious concern. They're all rooting for me. Such good support.
ええ。
Yeah. Lucy and I both nodded deeply and confidently. 7:14. We decided to visit the beach again for our first day off.
私もすっかり海で泳ぐのが気に入ってしまったわよ。
That's all well and good, but still use the inner tube, okay?
ん？
She was afraid enough on her first time swimming to use it, but now she really wanted to ditch the inner tube. Wait. Okay, yeah, sure.
でもあれをつけていたらいつまで経っても練習にならないんじゃない？あなたコーチしてくれたけど。
Wait, you haven't been doing that? Yeah, I guess. But you should practice at the school pool. There's still swimming class in September.
それじゃ間に合わないでしょ。海水浴場は8月いっぱいで閉められてしまうのではなかった？
Just come again next year.
来年か。
We have plenty of time, you know.
そうね。
We rented an umbrella and chairs again. I apologize for just leaving them out before.
お待たせ。
Seeing Lucy half naked always mesmerized me. Okay, let's go.
待って、先に日焼け止めを塗らないと。
Oh, right.
ねえ、ゆうた。
ん？
今回はあなたが塗ってくれない？
She is
オイル。
She is desperate for your touch. Huh? Me?
そうよ。だって前回はやっぱり背中がうまくできなくて。
Right.
ダメなの？
It's not like I don't want to. Lucy laid face down on her towel.
じゃあお願い。
Sure. I sat up right next to her and grabbed a homemade sun lotion. I'm kind of nervous.
どうして緊張することがあるのよ。私たちは夫婦よ。でしょ？
Yeah, I know that, but I guess worrying about it isn't gonna get me anywhere. I squirted some lotion into my palm. It really did smell like lavender. Okay, here I go. I started at her shoulders and traced down the middle of her back. It had been a while since I had touched her, but her skin felt as smooth as I remembered. It You have such beautiful skin.
そう背中は自分でもあんまり見ないからよくわからないわ。
There was not a single blemish, and it reminded me of milk. It felt like silk to the touch, though. Her shoulder blade subtly raised, leading down to the section along the middle of her back. Her shoulder blades subtly raised, leading down to the section along the middle of her back. It was pretty sexy.
やっぱりあなたに塗ってもらった方がいいわね。
Lucy breathed gently in pleasure.
紐の下もちゃんと塗ってね。
Oh, yeah. I gently lifted the straps of her bikini and carefully slid my hand underneath. Why did her moist, sparkling skin look so sexually enticing? I continued working downward until I was down to the small of her back. Even lying down flat, her butt was perked up into the air. She had such an amazing body.
足の方はいいわよ。
She didn't show any sign of getting up. I coated each of her legs with lotion as well. I occasionally heard her giggle from the ticklish sensation, but she remained still.
じゃあ次は体の前の方をやってもらおうかしら。
Well, I don't know about that. If we went that far, we'd start to get weird looks.
冗談よ。
Lucy sat herself up and took the bottle from me. Then
あら
she gasped quietly and looked down at my shorts.
言うたったら
You can tell.
ええよーくね。
Can we wait for a minute until we go to the beach?
ええ
Until we go. What the fuck? You're already on the beach, bro. Lucy stood up and went to her chair. I thought she would put lotion on the rest of her body, but she just lowered herself onto the backrest.
じゃあ私はちょっと休んでいるわ。
Hang on, I need to. Can we wait for a minute until we go to the beach? Or whatever. Oh, okay. I'm confused about the sentence. Relax. We had only just arrived and hadn't even moved around yet. But Lucy soon closed her eyes, like she was actually tired. So it really is. The effect is getting worse. The opposing force between us. This must have meant that the force I was exerting was overpowering her. It's not like it was intentional or anything, but I didn't know how to suppress that power either. Lucy ended up falling asleep, so I sat on my own chair and waited by her side. I didn't exactly want to swim alone, or leave my wife behind in a vulnerable state, and I didn't mind just waiting and relaxing, watching her beautiful sleeping face. Lucy finally woke up after about an hour.
あら、私寝てしまうなんて。
Morning.
起こしてくれればよかったのに。
Well, I figured I didn't need to.
いつだったかも砂浜の上で寝たことがあったわよね。寝入ったわけではなかったけれど。
Yeah, I remember that. It was nice reminiscing about that. It wasn't ages ago, but we were so joyfully ignorant then. Running on the beach hand in hand. That was so fun. But we'll have fun like that soon enough. I know we will. I brought myself back to reality and asked her, feeling rested?
ええ、もう全然よ。
Lucy sprang up from the chair to demonstrate, but she began to fall over onto me while still sitting in the chair, as if the blood had rushed to her head. Oh, I sat up and stopped her from falling.
ありがとう。
Her boobs are right there. We were both in swimsuits, and our bare skin touching was raising my pulse.
いつまでもこうして触れ合っていたい。本当は。
Lucy put her arms around my head and pulled me into her chest. Her skin was burning hot. Yeah. After several seconds, I moved away from her chest. How about we go swim now? We dashed to the water's edge hand in hand. The thrill of touching one another after so long likely wasn't the only reason her hand felt so hot. The beach shops were about to close, and the people started dwindling. I'm going to return the chairs and umbrella. I used the restroom while I was at it, and returned to our spot. What the? There were two young guys saying something to Lucy. I doubted they were asking for directions. Trying to pick her up, huh? I hurried back over to her, and I shouted as I saw one of the guys grab Lucy by the arm and by the hand. Let go of her. Huh?
この人、私の夫よ。
Okay, so it was two guys. I was off by one. What? You're married at such a young age?
そろそろ手を離さないと警察を呼ぶわよ。
Psh, whatever. Psh. They scoffed and turned away. Are you okay?
ちょうどユータが来てくれたから。
Good. I'd never live it down if my beautiful wife got taken right under my nose. Lucy mumbled something on the way home.
さっきね、私。たとえ危険な目にあっても、魔眼は使わず、助けを呼ぶだけにしようと決めていたの。
Why?
だって、それが私の吸血鬼の一つの特徴だから。
Okay, we're not doing this for a third time game, okay? We're not making it so that the fucking wife has to become human so that they can marry Yuta, okay? We're not doing this a third time. We already did it with Yorihime. We already did it with Julie. I didn't comment much on that before, but fucking it's pretty fucked up, alright?
使わなければなくなるというものでもないけれど。
I mean, I commented on it during the playthrough? I think I did. During fucking Yuna's route, I think. Well, maybe at the start of Lucy's. I don't remember.
ただ、そうすることで少しでもあなたに人間に近づけるような、そんな気がするのよ。
Oh. It was Sunday, and my parents had dinner ready. Lucy and I said our goodbyes at the door. I'll see you tomorrow. I started thinking about what Lucy had said. I see. More like a human, huh? Yet myself a bit more vampiric. If that was possible somehow, then